we hear some people, well, some people call me today. And apparently, they might listen to a program. And a man call about, he might quote some Bible verse. And he might associate the Bible verse with Haile Selassie. So, the brethren say, he would have like hear when me think about the interpretation of the Bible verses that was quoted. So, he might run down the Bible verse in which most Rasta know them Bible verses by heart, like, Psalm 68, Psalms 87, most Rasta know them. I mean, we can't say it by heart, 87. Psalms 87, his foundation is in the holy mountain, the land of the gates of Zion, etc., etc., etc. But the brethren asks, how me interpret the two, let's say, extol him that ride up on the wind as Jah. Now, according to him, I say, the man said Haile Selassie was crowned Jah. I don't know how him get that. Haile Selassie crowned Jah. I don't know how him get that. I never hear that in the coronation. And I play that tape there so many times, the coronation tape. How Haile Selassie go get crowned Jah? Jah is a bastardization of a Hebrew word, Yah. Y-A-H, because there's no J in Hebrew language. And we keep repeating it over and over. J is the last letter in the English language. 500 years ago, J come in the English language. That was in the advent of the Bible, the King James Bible, 500 and little years ago. But before 500 years, like 600 years ago, there was no J in the alphabet, neither in Hebrew. So you wouldn't have no Jah, you'd have Yah, Y-A-H. Any word that have where your name, like Judah is a Judah. So really and truly now, nobody never crowned Haile Selassie, no Jah. Haile Selassie was crowned Emperor Haile Selassie the First, King of Kings, conquering line of Judah, elect of God. That is where him get crowned officially. Officially. The King of Kings is relating to, because there are many kings in Ethiopia. The emperor is the King of Kings. So it's a different kind of system where, like how you have councillors in Jamaica and you have ministers, where you have the prime minister. The prime minister is the highest minister in the land, even though you have different ministers, but you have prime minister. Well, in Ethiopia, you have many kings, but the emperor is the King of Kings. Thus the title King of Kings. No, there's no crowning of no emperor as Jah. A Rastaman come with that title upon him, Jah, because he want to relate Jah with the Israelite God, Yah, which is really Yahweh. So him say Jah, because the Rastaman is not familiar with the Hebrew language. Plus, in a Psalm 68, it actually says Jah. A lot of people don't know say the word Jah in the Bible. That is really the unfortunate thing too. A lot of people in Jamaica feel says Rastaman bring up that word there. Jah. But in a Psalm 68, if you should search the King James Bible, you will see in Psalm 68, I think it's verse 4, it says, extol him that rideth upon the wind as Jah. So the Rastaman prefer to use the word Jah most of the time than God. Most of the time. I come up among some Rasta we never used to say God. I keep saying that over and over. People must have wonder what I say. But it's true. I come up among some Rasta man who never used to say God in their mouth at all. No. Psalms 87 is a little more complex. Because in the Psalms, its foundation is in the holy mountain. The Lord loveth the gates of Zion more than all the dwellings of Jacob. Glorious things are spoken of the city of God. I make mention of Rahab and Babylon to them that know me. Behold, Philistia and Tyre with Ethiopia, this man was born there. And it shall be said that this and that man was born in her. No. The normal interpretation where Rasta give that is the part when it say, behold, Philistia and Tyre with Ethiopia, this man was born there. So the Rasta man asks the question, which man was born there? But Fim there is the last country that is called in the stream of countries, behold, Philistia and Tyre with Ethiopia. This man was born there. So him say, which man was born there? Him say, there, where is there? Him say, the psalm that talk about Ethiopia. Now, to be honest with you, I don't really interpret it that way there. And I don't really use that to validate my reference to Haile Selassie. Because its foundation is in the holy mountain. The Lord loveth the gates of Zion more than all the dwellings of Jacob. The gates of Zion is in Jerusalem. It's a mountain where King David used to live. And them claim, say, him buried there. Tony can attest to that. Tony Rebel, my brethren, can attest to that. The idea that Zion is other than Jerusalem, the Mount Zion other than somewhere else, it's kind of stretch the thing, really. If you really is a biblical man, its foundation is in the holy mountain. Who for foundation in the holy mountain? The foundation, Israel's foundation, is the King David. The Psalms are written, most of the Psalms are written to King David. That is what them say. Most of the Psalms written to King David. So his foundation is in the holy mountain. The Lord loveth the gates of Zion more than all the dwellings of Jacob. Because Jacob, remember that Jacob is many tribes. But him single out one tribe, which is the tribe of Judah, which is from David. He said, David, foundation is in the holy mountain, the Lord loveth the gates of Zion more than all the dwellings of Jacob. So glorious things are spoken of the old city of God. What is the city of God they matter about? The city of God they matter about is Jerusalem, Mount Zion. Mount Zion is the city of God according to that Psalms. Him said, I make mention of Rahab and Babylon to them that know me. Remember, I say Rahab and Babylon is countries, you know. And then him say, behold, Philistia and Tyre with Ethiopia. That means, it might include that portion of country with Ethiopia. I don't really think that the writer who write the thing has singled out a country if you say this man was born there. Because they don't tell you say the man who he might talk about is the mount that was situated in Mount Zion, the city of the great king. I remember say Israel said they want a king, And them say, but have I been your king for so long and then you still talk about you want a king? Like the nations around you. So him give them a king, him give them Benjamin. Saul from the tribe of Benjamin. And then Saul get turned madman. And then David take over from the tribe of Judah. So David is who the Psalms are deal with. Now when you go to Ethiopia, the better way them reinterpret it to mean that is Mary. The Psalms is written to Mary. That is how them interpret it. The Psalms is written to Mary. the Virgin Mary. The Rasta man take it and him say, there's a specific thing that him use. Him say, with Ethiopia. So because it say with Ethiopia, Bible Rasta, biblical people who are read Rasta who are read the Bible, start to differentiate the old Philistine Tyre with the old Philistine Tyre. Him separate these countries now and say, Ethiopia, this man was born there. But it go down and say, the old Philistine Tyre with Ethiopia, this man was born there. And him say, and it shall be said that this and that man was born in Ur. And the highest himself shall establish Ur. So him is now making the city a object, a female. Him said, behold, Philistine Tyre with Ethiopia, this man was born there, and it shall be said that this and that man was born in Ur. And the highest himself shall establish Ur. And him say now, who I'm going to register, even the singers and players of instrument will be there. Personally, and I talk for no Rasta, and I talk for nobody, but looking upon the thing over the years, people, you see, sometimes if you want to strengthen yourself in a belief, you look for what will strengthen you, even though the thing not realizing, no have nothing to do with where you think. So, if something say that, you're going to look for something that can strengthen you in that, even though that never talk to you at all. So what I see now is that a whole heap of Bible person can find solace and comfort in an interpretation of things where man write 4,000 years ago, we never even know why the man did write it. And him that about him don't even know who write it. Because them say Psalms of David, Psalms of Moses, Psalms of this, that and that. Psalms to the kings, you know, people said the Psalms to the king, and people start to say, I got it to talk about. Nobody don't write Psalms to God. Man write Psalms to things people him can say. There's the king him talk about. And who was the king? It's King David. It's sent around Mount Zion. Mount Zion in Ethiopia. Rasta put it there, which is part of the, what you call, trying to cut off your foot to fit the shoes. Rasta put Mount Zion in Ethiopia. As a matter of fact, you have a whole heap of Rasta will say, instead of him say heaven, him say Zion. So automatically they might transport and transform heaven into a physical place, which is Mount Zion. Nobody in history, whether the people that are right or not, did ever think, say, Mount Zion is heaven. Because you have Rasta now who Rasta dead and them gone as Zion. I thought that you could take a plane to Zion. I never know you have to dead for go to Zion. It's kind of weird. Because see, where we are fall in the same trap where we are run from. We are go back into something where we never did really want to accept, because we realize how that thing trap we. But now we are finding ourselves now, I suck it up. That man has said, no, Rasta dead and gone as Zion. I don't understand that. And me can tell you, say, me a rebel, go as Zion. So me don't know, me never dead. It's walk, go up there. As a matter of fact, them show 1 2 months in there, so David Berry. Hey, Tony Rebel. But I don't joke with them. You see all them picture them. No, I Ethiopia, I don't take the picture of them. I Ethiopia, I don't take the picture of them. But even to that, we don't see them picture there yet, you know. For Ethiopia, you know. But Mount Zion is in Jerusalem. Mount Zion is not heaven. That is an illusion. Say, you're dead and gone at Zion. It's to show the contradiction in the mind when you start to try to interpret some 4,000 years writing where you don't have nothing to do with. You don't have nothing to do with it, but you try to interpret it for suit your thinking and your belief, cutting off your foot to fit your shoes. We as Rasta did have something where we created. We created to get free from white supremacy and colonialism. And we use these things over the years. And it did go on till I don't know where it reached a stage where man I say, you have to really penetrate now your interpretation of your liberty and experience have to come through some biblical things were written 4,000 years ago where I don't even know who write it. Nobody don't know who write Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, nor Numbers, nor Deuteronomy. I grew up for come here and say Moses write these things. And we come realize now say it can't happen, it not go so. Based upon of what is written in Deuteronomy. All the theologians them and all the people them white realize that but Moses couldn't write something that way. He couldn't write him own death. And which part him bury. It's madness. Plus the wickedness and the cruelty of these people who murder and rape in the name of God, the Israel God. I know that we did not deal with when it comes to Rastafari and Pride Selassie. I know that we did not deal with. We are dealing with that transformation outside of King James. We are dealing with that transformation outside of the King of England. Well, Leonard Owen say, we must have our own king, and I Selassie is our own king, our king. So how we make them interpret for we were in slavery. And them use that I done in slavery, you know. Slaves, be obedient to your master. Does not nature teach you that for a man to have long hair? I mean, it's madness. Or a guy named Paul, who born in a Turkey, can come look for me as a Rasta man. And me I read this thing in our Bible, say, nature teach you that for a man to have long hair, it's crazy. So tell me something now. What part of nature teach you that a man mustn't have long hair? What part of nature? When then them the dollar show you about Samson, who power in him ear and Delilah come cut it off. Joshua, Moses come out of the mountain with 7 locks. So how come now Paul come and tell me, well not me, I know me talk to you know, but people, imagine Paul write some letters to some white people, and black people take the letter like a Paul talk to them. Oh, you're faster than the man letter. You never hear about privacy. Paul put the letter to the Corinthians, letter to the Galatians, letter to the Ephesians. He never said nothing about letter to the Ghanaians. He never said no letter to no Ethiopian. Because him have a verge, as a matter of fact, him take up most of the scriptures than even where the man who's supposed to be the center of the scripture take up. So when Paul say nature teach you, what part of nature teach me? And I internalize it because I Paul talk to. But I hear people say that. Say the Bible say. The Bible say. So where you say. So the argument is that most Rasta lacks, you know, but you tell him I read the Bible tell him say, nature teach him say, you know, if you have long hair. It's just simple. And you have some man that say, boy, the reason why him lacks is to take Nazarene vow. Number 6, him say, where a man take a vow of the Nazarene, no reason shall come upon him head, neither him shall drink no strong drink, nor anything that produce from the drink until the day of his separation be fulfilled. Him shall go near no dead body and everything there. Number 6 said that. So, I know that we did a look pan when we come to Rasta. I know that bring we to Rastafari. Is a liberty bring us to Rastafari. True Leonard will come tell we say, watch out. It's obvious that white people have them king. Which part our king there? 1930, the 2nd of November, a man named Rastafari Makonnen was crowned Emperor Haile Selassie I. And from that, we just take it up. And we develop a theology and a culture that is suited for our possibilities. So we see possibilities in the doctrine that Rastafari manifests to us in our living livity, not in our learned livity, where we learn through book. But as time go on, we validate this livity now through the book, because most of us never have no other book but the Bible. It's the only thing black people have in slavery. The Bible. So every part of our spirituality is divine, is defined through that book. And every time we talk, I will come to a conclusion about what we call God. The only way we can know God is through the Bible. No other way. Yet still we did come know Haile Selassie, not through no Bible. It's not Bible show with that. And because it's not Bible show, we develop our own consciousness and own philosophy around our liberty. That's why we could have tell people say ital food and develop our language to counteract English language. Because we realize that the English language is not adequate enough to express what we want to say. Because it's the sound and the power of the word we are dealing with, not the spelling of the word. So when we say word sound have power, we actually mean that the word sound of the power is not the literal writing of the word of the power. It's the sound of the word that have the power. That's why these beautiful Jamaican words that them say is bad word. It's not the word itself that is bad, you know. It's where how you use the word, it's the power of the word that define if it is bad or it's good. Because our man book him to and ball out Jesus. And you say a bad word that. It's a bad word that, you know. Yet till him win lottery and him say when I don't do me say and big that's not a bad word. Him feel good. So him say the cloth them. And him feel good. Yet till a man book him to and him ball out Jesus and nobody say a bad word. A bad word that. What you ever call Jesus' name in your buck foot? Madness. But we have to work with it. And we have to work with it in all possibilities. But we have to realize the thing has set back the African experience, what we're supposed to experience after slavery. We're supposed to experience something else. That's what we're about. We're supposed to experience something else. But instead of we are experiencing something now, we are learning something. Wisdom not come through knowledge, you know. Wisdom come through experience. That knowledge is not good, you know, because knowledge is power, you know. But you find that only people who have knowledge use it at the detriment of human being. Experience is where teach your wisdom. It's not where you read, teach your wisdom. Where you read, make you have knowledge of the thing about where you read about. But if you want experience, now you have to go make something happen and you say, this happened, so you make another man know that that's not supposed to happen because this did happen to him. And if you make it happen to you, it's only a fool learn from his own experience. Because sometimes learning from your own experience can be detrimental. So you have to take up the responsibility of knowing, say, boy, right now, you see, if I did experience it that way there, you have to just know, say, boy, right now, if I say fire burn you, if I say fire go burn, you have to just know, say, fire go burn. You know why I got experience burning? I did not experience that already. And it's so the thing in Africa called, where you call eldership and growth. Experience is from the elders and from the growth. The growth now keep the knowledge and the experience of the village and then impart it to the village. That's why the songs that we sing and the poetry that we write should be a part of that process to move people from just normal knowledge to the understanding that there's an experiential vibes that must be protected, especially in a Rasta. And it not protected. You know why it not protected? Because man feels, because him read the Bible and him put the Bible in the context of Rasta, the thing is all right. When we know, say, it now going to, so when a man experience, say, his foundation is in the holy mountains. And you tell him, say, Mount Zion is the holy mountain where the Psalms are talk about. Him said, which part Mount Zion there? Not in Ethiopia. I said, there's nowhere in Ethiopia that there's a Mount Zion. But if you want to take the mountain out of Jerusalem and transport it to Mount Zion, to Ethiopia, to fit your shoes, well, I can't stop you. Believe, kill, and believe, cure. I now go tell you, say, don't do it. But I look on it and I show you, say, when the man did I write it 4,000 or 5,000 years ago, he might talk about for him knowledge and for him experience. And you can't come now take that man the experience and come claim, say, when you interpret now to satisfy your dilemma or delusion. Maybe I shouldn't use them term there, but it's serious term. Delusion, because some people get deluded in a certain thinking. Yes, some people really get deluded. You have man who sings a lion crown Haile Selassie, and that go through history. The lion crown him. No lion never crown Haile Selassie. It's the Abuna put the crown on Haile Selassie head. It's just them little thing there. Haile Selassie chew up apple and chop it 13 times before it drop a ground. Them things that's what people say to make the thing look like Haile Selassie is Jesus. You have to look on Haile Selassie in him humanity to find that divinity. So if you can't find the humanity of Haile Selassie, then you're going to start to conjure up some ghost-like things, like what them do with the Jesus. So we are trying to put Jesus and Haile Selassie in a one bag now, and I say, Haile Selassie are Jesus, because Haile Selassie did walk on water in them days. Walk on which water and feed 5,000 people. But if that could happen, we want some Jesus right now. In Africa, in Asia. Give him three bread and say, see some HTB bread, go and go feed the people them. I'm just going at the bank and just take out $200 and it just multiply. That you can buy some Range Rover and some Mercedes Benz and all them something there and just be happy. And how much fingernail you want, you just buy your fingernail them and Q-tex it. And buy a long ear weave here, them and just weave it. And your battery rider them and just ride it. You know, I just saw. So, why may I say all of that? It's because, just a simple thing, why may I say that? Because a man say he might hear a reason on a radio program. And he might ask me about how me see the thing. And I have to tell you how me see it. I mean, I know it's kind of harsh sometimes, especially if certain kind of mind Rastas are listening. So this is a brother there, Muta. You have some Rasta man who fight against Muta more than Babylon. Yeah, so Rasta man who fight against Muta and say, "Hey, the brother are Rasta, you know. The man if got trim." The devil is a man construct. Devil is the opposite of God. God is the opposite of the devil. The devil cannot exist without God. God cannot exist without the devil. The only way you know good is to know something that is opposing good. Because if there's no thing that is opposing good, good is not good. Because in order to know that something good, you have to have something to oppose it, to say this is the opposite to good. You can't just have good. Because if you just have good, it's not good. Just like if you just have perfect, it is not perfect. If you just have God, there's no God. So man have to create something to oppose something inside of him. Because all of these things is coming from himself. The actions of the devil and the actions of God is defined based off a human culture and human experience. That is how you define good and evil. Good and evil is a construct in nations, in tribes, just like that, because there's certain things that we will say that is good because the Bible say that, and there's something that is bad because the Bible say that. In other cultures, it's normal way to behave, it's normal way to react to things. Man make law and break law. The law cannot save you. As a matter of fact, the law will make you, put it in a Christian way, make you sin. Because it's through the law where you know you must do certain things. And if you do it, the consequence in which you do it might lead to something. But it's the man them going to judge you for it. It's not God going to pronounce judgment on you. It's man, a judge, pronounce judgment, and it's man carry out the what they call it, of the judgment. You understand? So when the Bible says stone him to death because a man sleep with a next man should be stoned to death, or a man sleep with a next man's wife should be stoned to death, or a child who disobey him parents should be stoned to death. Is man put that law there in order to keep the tribe or the nation intact? And then the consequence of him breaking that law is death. So is man going to stone him to death? So all of the things them that we are defining in the context of God and the devil is man. Theology is something where people have to contend with in their life perpetually. I'm not changing political persuasion, but in religion very difficult. But we in the Western world also is confronted with one religion that decide our thought and our behavior. And you have to come outside now yourself. You have to come outside of yourself to find, say, there's other ways of looking at things. And we as African people must reclaim our Africanness through spirituality. Because spirituality defines African people over the years. It's just that when we look at it, the most religious people them is very poor. And the people them who don't believe in any God is very rich. Most of them. So most countries now that you find is politically, economically and socially stable. Them not giving credence to this concept of God anymore. And I'm going to repeat it, People must stop say, me is an atheist. And I hear Ian Boy say that on radio and I vex TV, but Muta is an atheist. I don't know what to tell him after I'm done say that, because how you going to label me atheist through me not believe in your God? Your God is your God. I don't believe in your God. Your God tell me, say, slaves must be obedient to the master. I know that. And that one day a man will come out of the sky and save me from all the wickedness and cruelty of earth. And if I don't believe, I'm going to go in a fire burning for 1,000 years. I not going to accept that in my life in this time. Yeah. And I hope say the Rastaman them do accept those things. When a Rastaman ball out, wicked, Babylon, and all these terminologies, apocalypse, revelation time. If you listen to the music, where the young, when an artist young and him does a side rasta, the imagery is biblical imagery. If you listen to Bob Marley song them, Bob Marley, the great thing about Bob Marley songs is that him know how to draw from the Bible and make it relevant to theme understanding. So most of the songs them have biblical connotations and this, but you have artists where write great songs. And it's not the Bible part of Bob Marley song that make them popular, you know. It's the militancy in which he express it. And people can relate to, if you are oppressed in Germany, France, Belgium, Africa, you can relate to it on a level. Plus, him have people that promote him from them time there. So, you know, there's a difference. But when you see how Rasta and what Rasta offer the world, it's not true. It's not no reading make the people them latch on Rasta so. Rastafari most potent expression is the culture of Rasta. And I'm going to even say it further to maybe even vex more people. It's not the theology of Rasta that drive people to Rasta. Because most people know who used to look like Rasta and gravitate toward the music and love the music. It's them not say Haile Selassie. But them love the red, gold and green, them love the locks, them love the idea of eating, you know, holistic food and them things. It's the culture of Rasta. That is the potent aspect of Rasta. The culture. The culture defines Rasta in such a way where no other group of people in the Western world, as black people who was domiciled on this farmer slave plantation island, no other group come with the expression that Rasta come with. So people gravitate to Rasta all over the world. Japanese, French, Italian, we live in a Rome. When you go, the biggest draw Bob Marley have a concert is right there in Italy, in a Rome. 100,000 people without any opening act. Bob Marley draw 100,000 people in a concert without any opening act. In Italy, Rome. But you must understand, say, it's a culture that drive the thing to make it become what we call now international or universal. The theology. Most people, if you check them, all these old white people are coming here now and a Rastafari and dreadlocks and things. Them don't have nothing with Haile Selassie. A whole heap of black American and people who come from England and Canada and demonstrate Rasta and do this Rasta, that. Well, if you sit down with them and have a good conversation with them, it's like them no want to tell you, but it's like it's in them say, all right, don't bring up the Selassie thing to me. That's what them are saying, because Rasta is a force. But it's a part about Selassie now. Very presumptuous to say Selassie. I don't like hearing nobody talk about Selassie, you know. It makes me, it's Haile Selassie, the first. But it's like them want to divert you. If you start to say, well, you see Haile Selassie now and them don't want to hear about the part there. Them want to say, so, why you don't eat meat? Say, really? You know the way there? Okay. What is the purpose of even in a school in Jamaica? If a teacher send out a student to find out about Rasta, the youth have a certain list of questions on the paper. And when them go to the youth, when them go to the person now, them say, all right, I'm going to ask you a question. What is the meaning of the red, gold, and green flag? Every Rasta walk with a rod. What is the meaning of the rod? I say, rod? I mean, I walk with no rod. I talk about. I wish I never talk about. You know, it's like, okay, Rasta used to walk with rod a long time. But I don't see no Rasta walk with rod, you know. So I don't know if you can use that to identify Rasta as a rod. But because Rasta was so embedded in the Old Testament, Moses did walk with a rod. So Rasta decides, say, them are Moses too. So Rasta even go as far and say, Marcus Garvey is the black Moses. So what color Moses was? If Marcus Garvey is the black Moses, then the other Moses was what, white? You don't understand. Anyway, the rationale is that people gravitate towards Rastafari because of the culture. Some people, when you get down into the nitty-gritty of the theology now, never talk theology, and then now you hear Bible come up, and then them get turned off again. Because they know them are going to say, but how these people liberate themselves so, and still hold on upon something that enslave black people in the Western world or so. And when you hear Rasta talk now about African retentive religions, you hear them demonize it, just like how the Christian them demonize it. So most Rasta don't want to hear about Yoruba. Most Rasta don't want to hear about Akan. Most Rasta don't want to hear about voodoo. Everything where Christian demonize, Rasta demonize it too. It's a weird thing. Because this is a group that's supposed to have it out against the oppression of the colonial masters through slavery. And we come here with that thing, you know, we come here with some things. We have retentive elements of Africanness that them take out Africa, but them couldn't take the Africa out away. And them beat we, and them torture the father in front of the mother. That the mother, when she get pregnant, she make her son become passive because she remember the torture where the father go through, so she don't want her son go through that torture. So in order not to make her son go through that torture now, she bring up the youth in a very passive way. And then they are the only place that we could have congregated freely is in the church. And even though some of us use the church to be a liberating force and an organizing force, most of us came out of the church like the European and the European mind, that when the Europeans leave and gone back to England and gone back to France, them left them religion totally embedded in a way that them not have to dare. Them not have to dare now if you wick you over your back again. Them put an ideology in our mind. And this ideology say, look now, you can't save yourself. There's a white man who going to save you, but you have to believe in him. So a little youth come named Sizzler. You're the little youth say now. This little youth say, white man, God can't save you from white man oppression. White man, God can't save you from white man oppression. But them don't have we night already. So the way we have we night now and them gone back to England now, you know. We now uphold the colonial masters way. More than how the colonial masters did uphold theme way. Because when we sit down and hear a white man in America say, America is a white country and black people shouldn't they there? I say, wow. The man know the history of America. He didn't know say you have some people that run from religious persecution in Europe and end up in America called the pilgrims. And them go see people and call them Red Indian and massacre the Native American them and take with them land. And the Mexican them who did have them land go straight to all of California and Texas. Them take with the Mexican them land. Call one part California, one part Texas, and the one where they further south, them call it Mexico. And you can't go across the border. That one man come and say, I'm going to build a wall. This is a white man now, you know. A white people now tell you, say they're going to build a wall. To keep out the true owners or the true inhabitants of the land where them come capture. And if them don't present, them left something with you to make sure, say, them political, social, sexual, religious, economical structure stay in place. So when you change the political system, the hardest part is to change the religious system. And that is what all the people them. So black people is more religious now in the European concept of religion than all the European them take part in them own thing. Because them show that way and them realize that it served them purpose, you know. It served them purpose, so now them say, no, you see, uno niggas over there, so now. It's that we're going to use and we're going to control the other nigga them. So anytime you go out and them just quote a Bible part, you say, you know, the Bible say. And you get hold back because fear. Because that is what them control you with, you know, fear. Fear is the greatest thing that you can impose upon, is the weirdest thing you can impose upon somebody. The only fear is fear itself. Because in that death, there's no fear. Fear is worse than death. Because you're alive and you're in torment because you fear. Look at, don't go in the fridge, go take out nothing, you know, because God going to see you and punish you. That is why you tell the little picnic. The little picnic get up one night and he's hungry and he open the fridge. You just come catch him. I tell you not to go in the fridge, you know. What the Bible say? Thou shalt not steal. The people never steal. I'm own house, you know. I know somebody come in your house and hold you up and take everything out of the fridge. And you have fear. Fear of sex. Fear of money. Fear of religious rituals that was here with the African people them. And it's just fear all over the place. Everybody fear, but you know, man don't have no respect for human being because he said there's something greater than human being, and he prefer fear the unknown than fear the known. So you love God who you can't see, yet you can't love who you can see. That is the problem. How you going to love something you can't see? How you know what you can't see, love you? Because the Bible tell me so. I see a baby on the TV last night. A woman complain. I don't know, them put the little baby. I don't know what kind of sickness that baby they have. The baby mouth swell big, son. She just disfigured. And the mother, look like them put the picture of the baby in the thing and spread it all over the place. And look like the mother never want the picture going. I mean, if me have a baby like that, I want the picture going on the paper. But it's like, I don't know, it's why them highlight this story on the TV. And you know, I turn to my lady and say, you see, that's why I'm not believing in this concept where them do about God, you know. Because people tell me, say, God not do nothing imperfect. He's a perfect God. But look on that baby there. The baby born away there. You have people who are born with two heads. Them stick on one another. You have baby born and what them do? What them do for born away there? But yet you tell me, say, everything God make is perfect. So what kind of concept that you give me personally, who can think for myself? Can I reach a stage now where I don't just take things up? I have to reevaluate it. Sometimes I have to go sleep on it. And when I look, I realize I never sleep on nothing. Still a sheet and a pillow underneath me. And I say, how them get way to behave in such a way where the things them that we do, we feel say, is we personally come up with that idea. It served them purpose. But what I say is that them get way to do things where we personally, when we evaluate it in ourselves based upon for them logics, and we use for them logics to define everything where them do and where them do and where we do, we can't come to a different understanding about why we do this, why we do what we do. How much people question why them do what them do? Why the nation? Why are we democratic? Why we call a country democratic country? How much youth sit down and try to figure out it? I go examine why this. And when I look at America, America is not a democratic country. That me watching them election and now, me come realize that what I was taught was democracy. It's not where America practice. Maybe England practice it, because we come out of our England system. But what now is that the American take the British system and twist it and turn it for suit for themselves. But them still say a democratic country. And me did learn say democracy means it's a government by the people, for the people, of the people, where the majority rule. Me come realizing at the American election that it's lie them a tell in America. It's not the majority elect the leader and the president. It's the delegate them. So you can get a majority of vote. And the delegate them, you don't get the delegate them. And you lose the man who get less vote than you from the majority of people can win the election by the delegate them. Me never understand that. Give thanks to Trump. And Trump may become really look at the thing and I realize, but wait, our man will get 10 million vote and the next man get 5 million vote. And the man who get the 10 million vote, it's 10 million people vote for him. And the man who get 5 million vote, it's 5 million people vote for him. But the delegate, them are going to decide who become the president or become the one who will represent that party for the president. And guess what? The man who get the 5 million, him get the most delegate. So it's him now become the leader to represent the party. Me never know say democracy that. Me never know say democracy that, you know. Me think say democracy was 10 million people vote. The man who get 5 million point 2 vote is him win. Can get the majority. Me never know say boy me get 10 million people vote. Me get 9 million people vote for me. The other man get 1 million people vote for him. But you have some people around now where you can buy and give them money, give them drink and thing and tell say what you know. You see me now delegate, all right, me have most delegates so me win. Weird. So them halfway I give credence to these things with them create themselves. And when we start to create anything for ourselves, you say, tell me how you get that to be. Me say Emperor is the Almighty I. A man said, then how you get that? You think I'm going to show him the Bible? Me nah show him the Bible. And me say that. Every concept of God come from man. So if Leonard Oil come and say, watch a man. Hey, you have a king over there, so me nah worship the king, and my king, then see him there and get to them door. Then put him in a Bellevue. And then put him in a prison, and then put him back in a Bellevue, and then put him in a prison, and all sort of things. Because I'm a madman, I'm going to say that, but I just Lassie. Treason. But the other one, what if I think them try Leonard Oil for? Because Leonard Oil decides, say, him not deal with for them thing. Him going to create him own logics and him own space to define himself. In upon this farmer slave plantation island. So we come here so now as caretaker, still domicile on this farmer slave plantation island. But because we grew up in a system and a society that give us these religious belief and a book to go with it. you can't think outside of that book. Because if you think outside of that book, you can't write. You're not in right. You're not on the right if you think outside of that book. Because that book is going to define who you are when you're alive and what will happen to you when you're dead. Some man are sure you say, look, you know. You see when you dead, me know what happened to you when you dead, you know. Him never dead yet. But him know, him not say, I believe that when you die, this and this. So no. Him say the Bible say that when you're dead, this and this and this and that happen. And you can't tell him say nothing can't go so because him don't know. Him say I don't have to know that. The Bible said that. The Bible is the word of God. I said, what the hell is this? What the hell is this now? I shouldn't even say what the hell is this, but a man going to tell me, say, when me dead, this and this is what happened. And me going to question him about it, and man tell me, say, why you questioning the word of God? Me not question God, as if me a question. How am I put himself and say me a question God? It's like him a say, my God. Me say, no. It's you me a question, and say, but the word of God is the Bible. So what am to the Quran? Is that the word of God? What am to the Bhagavad Gita? Is that the word of God? Where millions of people are used. Islam is the fastest rising religion on earth right now. And them use a book named the Quran. That was given to them by Muhammad, the prophet. And the millions of people who believe in the Quran say the Quran is the last testimony of Allah given to them by Muhammad. So the Bible, even though them draw from the Bible, because all of them father is Abraham, except Christian, because Christian draw from the Torah, according to what the Jews call it, but them don't give credence to the Torah, because them say, for them brethren, when them Jesus come and make the Torah now kind of null, but not null, because them won't go draw from it when they want to justify them belief in a for them Jesus. If you listen to when them attack, because Paul has set the tone for Christianity, and Paul never know nobody named Jesus. He won't go hear about him according to him own mouth in the Bible. He was traveling and him way to Damascus. I don't know if him name too much overnight food or cane juice will it spoil. And him get this revelation and him gone now go stop kill Christians and start to defend them. Just like Constantine, who decide where you think. Where them for put in or where them for take out. Who decide what must go in there, who must. Them say the Apocrypha, 13 books on the Bible was taken out because it's not inspired by God. Who do that? The Roman Catholic Church. The Roman Catholic Church decide where every other denomination think, believe and accept, even though them break away. Most Rasta don't talk about them experience as Rasta. Most Rasta talk about them knowledge based upon a biblical interpretation. That is how Rasta, well, most Rasta who I know don't talk from experience. Them talk from biblical interpretation where define them knowledge and them interpretation of the Bible as it relates to Haile Selassie or Jesus Christ. And people find it fascinating. People find it fascinating because then now the man who scored the Bible, I'm going to look at it and say, if you say you're not a Christian, say, but don't Haile Selassie is a Christian? But him frightened to hear you say, yes, Haile Selassie is a Christian. You know, say, then if Haile Selassie is a Christian, oh, why you not a Christian? And then now, if you're not a very free-thinking person, it stump you rightly so. It's like when a man say, God create you, and you say, God not create me, then he said, who create you? And then him say, I'm a mother, I'm a father. Say, who create my mother, I'm a father? Say, my grandfather. And him go right back and him say, so who create the first man? And him say, no, God create the first man. And then the question is, who create God? And then it stump him now. So it become problematic. So when the man look at you and tell you, no, but Haile Selassie is a Christian, so how come you're not a Christian? But Haile Selassie being a Christian don't have nothing for me personally. I mean, I talk about for every Rasta, but the Rasta them me grew up with. The Rasta them me come trod the Wissy jungle of Kingston, not Kingston, Westmoreland and Hanover and St. James and the mountains of St. Anne. Them no know nothing about no Christian, nothing. That never have nothing to do with them saying Haile Selassie. It's not Haile Selassie being a Christian why Rasta come up and say he's Christian. Come up and say Haile Selassie. That is the after talk, not thought, after thought. The idea of Haile Selassie being a Christian has nothing to do with the concept of Haile Selassie as it relates to Rastafari philosophy. The only reason right now that it make a difference now to a whole heap of Christian-minded Rastafarians is because them start to read. So I'm to the man in a Cascade Mountain in Hanover who can't read, but him a hear Haile Selassie in the sun, in the earth, in the wind, in the water, eat air and water, and him a live ital. And him now read, but him just a live. And you see a human being in him. Human being, him near to the earth. You see the first man in him. The force, the life, the divinity that he has searched for. You see it in him. And him transform that idea in himself. Not outside himself. Instead of look for a man who talk about Jesus Christ is Haile Selassie. And then now you expect that this man to come save you. Save you from what? You better save yourself. This is a cutting edge on IRFM. You know, there's a story, about Jesus I carry the cross. And in the middle of the story, them put a man in the name Simon of Cyrene. Now, I watch a movie the other day, with the same Jesus I carry the cross, You see how them put Simon of Cyrene is a black man, It's a black man. Them say, you go help him with the cross. So, Jesus is a white man. The man who help him with the cross is a black man. So I supposed to feel good now, as a black person. So see there, black people redeem themselves because they might help Jesus with the cross. But here's the problem with the story now. The problem with the story is that if you read the gospel, two of them have the story totally different. One say it's Jesus alone carry the cross. And the other one say, in the middle of this thing, a man named Simon of Cyrene help him. So them have a thing about Simon of Cyrene, that gospel song that people jump up and think about. One man say, Jesus alone bear the cross to Calvary. And the next man, in the same, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John say, is Simon of Cyrene. Help him. So who must believe now? How can a story be so far from one another? If you are watch this thing, there's no way you are watch this thing and don't see a man help him, or never help him. So just think about that now. If one man right say a man a help Jesus to carry the cross and the next man a right says him alone. You try to tell me say no, the man who see him and say no man never help him, it's because him did at the beginning of the race. And him never say down at the bottom because maybe him did want to go buy, him did thirst and him want to go drink some water. So him never get to come back. And she say, down the lane is another man take the cross from him and walk with it, go down there so. Because I have to think like the Christian them too, you know. Because so the Christian them are going to think, you know. So maybe Matthew did see him at the beginning and Mark did see him at the end. So when them say, one man says him alone carry the cross, maybe him never did really there when Matthew see him when the man take the cross and carry him. But there's so much disparities in the stories them. That a man like all Paul now, who the book is centered around, him no mention nothing about no Mary. Him no mention nothing about Jesus more than what him a make up, you know. Everything what Paul talk about is either him make it up or him hear somebody talk about it. Him personally never have no experience with this man. And him a write the gospel film later them as it relate to Europeans. And then him change around everything where the Jews them, where people call out Judaism, him change around everything where Judaism represent. For suit what them call the Gentiles. The Gentiles is really the Greeks and the Roman them. So Paul did a write for the European them. And in order to make them come to where him wants, you know, him have to change up a whole heap of the Jewish culture. Like our circumcision, him start to say, circumcision is not physical, but it's not of the flesh, but it's of the heart. So he might get a different interpretation now of the Jewish tradition, you know. It's like one man that come now say you don't have to dread to be a Rasta, you know, like, wow, you know. Maybe I should have really say, not because you dread you is a Rasta. Which would have really make more sense to me if you say, not because you dread you is a Rasta, but you say that you do have to dread to be a Rasta, which the man was singing dread. All of them was singing have locks on them head. So it's if you them father too, have locks on them, and the brother them and the sister them, all of them have locks on them head. So you want to know why them locks then if you don't have to dread to be a Rasta. Because locks must have to play a part in the whole perception and perspective of the whole thing. So Paul now is a man now where him about design a Christian belief system where him put to the Europeans them in order to facilitate for them believe in a firm Jewish thinking. But it's not a Jewish thinking they might give them, a firm thinking they might give them. Because everything where I say totally wipe away the culture of where him come see. Because him used to kill people, you know. And him get converted. And when him get converted now, he might try to show you say, but them things that what them talk about. That have nothing to do with nothing. That have nothing to do with nothing, you know. So you don't make him tell you nothing about circumcision and them something. You don't have to circumcise and all them something. You know what I mean? Really, you know, it's part of culture. It's a cultural thing. It's really a serious thing. Them get to believe some things where it's unbelievable that we believe these things. You know, it's weird. When we listen to it, I say, but weird. If you go to a normal person on the road now, you know, and ask them about angel. First of all, most of the people them believe in an angel. That's the first thing. Everybody believe in an angel. And then our perception and concept of angel with wings and all them way there, you know, and Gabriel, Archangel Michael, and all these angels, and beware of how you entertain strangers because you might entertain angels unaware. But the concept of angels is so ancient. Go way back in a Kemet. But it's when it reached the Greco-Roman thought and Greco-Roman thinking, and then how them use them artists for manipulate and create images in our mind, because most of the things, and if we say Jesus, no care how we say we conscious, and the picture where them give we come up in our consciousness, If we say angel, we can't, if we say devil, if we say hell, every image will come up in our mind was given to us, and there's no way to actually establish something for ourselves, because we never get educated in the reverse or in the straight. Everything with them give away, we have it as the reality, our reality. For them, reality become our reality, So you can't go to a black person, really, and tell him, say, so when you believe in a European ideas, if you tell him about Valentine's Day, Easter, Christmas, and all the things, the trappings that go with all these holidays, like, rabbit lay egg and all these things, and, I mean, a man dead and raised and gone up in the sky, and he will come back same way, I mean, Boxing Day, Valentine's Day, Halloween, you name it, man. You name all of the things them where we know all as reality. And you realize, say, all of them things there, all there, even if you don't believe in it, just thinking upon it, you can't think outside of where them give you. It's weird. It's weird. In this Western world that we are talking about, because most people in the Far East and them, they don't believe like how we believe, But because we were colonized by the Europeans, especially the English, we were colonized by them. So most of our faith, F-A-I-T-H, is embedded in where we get from them. And most of our faith, F-A-T-E, get connected with where them decide what happened to it. Because obviously them decide what happened to it. And when we realize now, say, you have hell and you have heaven, and the concept of hell where we have and the concept of heaven where we have is the concept of heaven and hell where them give way. It's amazing how we come to where we come to. How you come to the belief where you have, how you come to it. How you get to really believe where you believe in. And actually now, would have put your head on the block for where you believe in. When you don't know the origin of where you believe in. Because if we didn't know, because after them leak out all of them things out of way, as African people who come from Africa, with our things. And when we come on here, so now, them leak it out away and put other things in a way, and we surround them, we look and feed them lifestyle and way of life as slaves. And we say, boy, this is how we want to live. So we adapt for them way, and not only adapting for them way, but we actually become them. We become them in a more ways than one. As a matter of fact, a whole heap of black people behave more like them than how them would have behaved. It's a serious thing. You ever hear Malcolm X talk about when the slave master house are burned down, we say we house are burned down. And when the slave master sick, we say we sick. It's the same thing like when you go in a place to go buy something, and the lady who are walk the aisles and I sell, and you ask her for something, she say, we don't have any, Oh, she come, we don't have none, and I work, she work for some little full money. It's like me that work iron, and I say, boy, you want to see, we have built up a new station, and I say, we coming at this, we is plural. The owner of them a studio. So make like all of them have studio. What that studio B? A studio B over there. So you cannot imagine me go to the road and say you want, so we just get a brand new studio there. Or we get a brand new studio. We don't have to do the studio. And so black people talk. Black people include themselves in the other people things and make it personalize the thing like say for them own. And little more, boy, you want so we no work there again, you know. Them fire away. So we them fire now, you know. Or we get fire and we talk about our things. Well, is that how the slave talk? The slave talk and become a part of the slave master ownership. That the slave master own him and him now start to own where him don't own. Him start to become part of the things them that oppress him. And him start to internalize those oppression and get what them call blissful about it. It's a weird thing. It's like how them have to go fight for England. Because them must say, see they know, would I prefer we kill off some German than German come rule with. We never want Hitler will rule with. So it's a good thing that we go fight for them because we never want to learn German. We don't talk German. But then we attack English. We attack English and we help. Of course it help. It help become part of them system. And we can't look outside of them system because we don't know another system. Because we never re-educate ourselves into other systems, into other religious beliefs, especially the religion. The religion is one of the most detrimental things to African people right now. A man is changing political ideology faster than him changing religious belief. Because the religious beliefs soak into him. That's why you have most of the school them in Jamaica was started by church. Most of the school them in Jamaica, church start them, you know. It's easier for you to go to church as a person who don't believe in the church than go to a school who you don't recognize the religion of the school. It's weird. Like the daughter the other day, the 7-day business, how that create a national issue in Jamaica. So we are saying, when we examine, we are examining the things them where make us be we who we are. And everything will make us who we are seem to be negative. How we sing, how we dance, how we eat, what we believe in, how we dress, everything. I mean, just look on how them have the whole world and wear the same kind of clothes. If you go farmer, you have to wear jacket and tie and suit. How them get to do that? How them invent a phallic symbol with go ring around somebody's neck and choke them? We point right to them parts. It's a phallic symbol. How them get everybody to do that? That means you know, you can't, if you're going to look at job, you have to look a certain way to get the job, not your ability to do the job, you know. But your presentation have to be looking like how the slave master said, this is the right way to look. If your ear did eye, you have to go cut it, you have to go trim. It's a weird thing. So when we think about angel, we actually believe that there's some things out there named angel. So we are saying that we know African people who don't know nothing about the Yoruba tradition, we don't know about the Zulu traditions, we don't know about the Akan traditions, and now we are search. Well, that is what they might tell you. They might tell you so we are turned to demons because we are search for our thing. Cupid and our thing. A little baby with an arrow, that sounds like some pedophiles that go around the place. I try and make angels into little babies. And a little baby with a little arrow. I stick you and say you're supposed to. That is mythology. That is European mythology. It don't have nothing to do with we. We can ascribe that to our cultural space and our spirituality. Because the more you go into that space, is the more you become that space. And then you lose yourself totally. And that is the purpose of those things. So you don't really consider your sovereignty as necessary again. But we are all in what we call the New World Order. But the New World Order is controlled by individuals who do have nothing to do with our cultural, political, social, and spiritual existence. Nothing. They are not going to impose something on the world. Well, maybe the Western world. I don't see the world because really and truly you have certain people who are not in the Western world now got stand for Americanization of them culture. Them take the economics and thing, but you see when them set them culture is what keep them. The greatest revolution is a cultural revolution. The Chinese show you that. And them go around the world and controlling this and controlling that. But you see when you get down to them is Chinese. White people is white people. You see them go around the world, but when you get right down to it, them is Europeans. Them just go here and there and control and manipulate, which is the problem with them have. Them don't respect other people's space. Them go into the other people's space and control it, manipulate it, and then people now become them. It's like a black man saying he's French because the French make you feel like he's French. As opposed to the British, who say he's British but he's not English. And are we strong, or are we brave enough for de-brainwash yourself, or re-educate yourself and get out of the indoctrination that was placed in us? Most of us seem not to be brave enough because we are so contented in our ignorance. We are so blissful in our ignorance because them tell us that ignorance is bliss. And most of the time it's really stupidity. And are we willing to gather information that is presented to us? Because in those days, we never have so much information like we are running around the place now. So it should have really rough if we have so much information I go around the place and then don't heed to these informations to really come to a critical thinking about what was fed to us. And now food now come to where we still eat it, both physically and spiritually. We now get no food. And instead I would try to plant our own food, not only in the ground, but in our minds and in our brains. We're still allowing them to feed us continuously. How can a people that has been so dehumanized and degraded, still after so much years, recognizing that there's so much thing that is around us and knowing that information is power? The people with the more information is them going to control. Or them is controlling because the information that these colonial people have, white supremacists have, feed us with to make us accept and become their personality. We are becoming them, even more than all them is them. It's a weird thing. Black people defend. I mean, it's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. In Jamaica, black people are killer black people like, wow. I mean, I stress the point, you know, I mean, I degrade nothing, you know. But I'm going to say it because it's on my mind. I say, black people are kill black people like, wow, in Jamaica.